Bum 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 ba bum ba bum ba bum ba dum ba da ba dum. Hello. Let me get my phone situated here. Ha. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday. Woohoo! I've been home most of the day and I am just setting up. So come on in, make yourselves at home, take your shoes off, make yourself comfortable. We are going to do another Monday mini medicine card reading. Woohoo! And if you haven't been here before, my name is Patrick. I am your friendly neighborhood shaman. And I will explain what we're doing in a minute when I get situated here. Awesome. All right. So, welcome to Perching Wolf Studios, either the Facebook page if you're watching this live, or my YouTube channel if you're watching this in repeat. Every Monday night we do this, and what we do, I have this lovely deck of cards that I've had, well, not the exact deck of cards, but I've had a deck of these cards since the late 80s. This is the medicine card deck, and each card has different animal on it, and each animal, of course, has its own message, its own medicine, which is why they're called medicine cards. So what we do here is I pull 3 cards, and you get to choose a number between 1 and 3, and then I will do a little mini reading for each card I pull, and whichever card corresponds, whichever number you choose corresponds to whichever card, that is your message for the week. So, just a little fun kind of thing I do each week. Just lit some sage so I can smudge my cards. So, I've been doing this since the beginning of the pandemic, and even though things seem to be improving pandemic-wise, there's still a lot of crap going on in the world, and we can all use a little bit of extra guidance. So I am continuing this. Plus, I really, really enjoy it. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in, supporting me by watching this video. And if you know anyone that may benefit from watching it, feel free to tag them in the comments or share the video. That would be lovely, and I appreciate any of that. So, and if you're interested in finding out more about me and who I am and my whole story, my dear friend Nadia who is the founder of the Facebook Dr. Wayne Dyer Wisdom Facebook page. I hope I got that right. She has a podcast called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, where she interviews different people inspired by Dr. Wayne Dyer. And this last episode that just started yesterday, actually has me on it. So she asked me to be on her podcast and asked a bunch of questions about shamanism, about my path, how I came to shamanism, what shamanic healing is all about, and all that. So check that out. I will put the link in the description underneath this video, and you can find that on pretty much any of the platforms that have podcasts on them, etc. But just a little extra. You can support my friends, support me by listening, and all of that. It was really, really fun. Her and I have talked about doing a podcast together before, so we finally got to do at least one episode. And hopefully I didn't come across too much of a dork. So, and as I say that, Coyote came up. So anyway, I'm going to shuffle the cards a little bit till I feel like we've got the right combination and all. So pick your numbers right now, 1, 2, or 3, or a couple of that, or a combination of all 3 of them, whatever tickles your fancy. And we will get some cards pulled here. All right. Okay, one more shuffle. All right, let's see who comes up. Wow, okay. So, if you're just joining us, if you're new here, choose a number between 1 and 3. I have 3 medicine cards pulled on the table in front of me. And whichever card corresponds to the number you choose, that is your guidance for the week. All right, so number 1, if 1 is your, okay, I just reminded myself of a joke. What's this? I don't know, but here comes another one. Anyway, number 1. If 1 was your number, you got elk. Elk medicine is about stamina. Elk has the ability to outdistance his predators. That's his main course of defense. Of course, he's got the antlers and the hooves if he needs to fight back. But if he can avoid the initial rush and pounce of the predators, like the wolves, he's home free, because the predators tend to be sprinters. They depend on stealth and then a burst of speed. But once they're through with that burst, they're done. They don't have any more stamina, whereas elk can run for hours and hours and hours at the same pace without getting tired. And what I was doing a reading for someone a while back, and I was explaining that it was like, and I was visualizing this on the table in front of me of the, the wolves coming after the elk, and the elk getting further and further away in front of the wolves, and all of a sudden this horizontal picture went vertical, and I realized it's about raising your frequency. The wolves who want to tear you down, they have just that initial burst of speed. They can only go this far. If you think of this as a spectrum of frequencies. Meanwhile, the elk's getting further and further away because he can outrun them. He can change his frequency to a point where the wolves aren't even an issue anymore. They can only come to here. And if you're up here, the wolves, you're not even going to be aware of the wolves anymore. So when elk comes along, the message is usually about remembering that you have the energy. The universe is carrying you. You know, when they get into that stride that they can keep going, it's like spirit carrying them. There's like, it's hard, it's almost effortless, because they get into that stride and it's just almost mechanical. The spirit just carries them as far as they need to go. So if this is your card, know that you have everything you need to go the distance. That there is nothing, unless you, this is another lesson in focusing on what you want, not on what you don't want. If you stop to focus on the wolves and try to fight back against them, you're dead. You're not going to raise your frequency. You're actually lowering your frequency to come into a place that's eye to eye with those who are predating on you. Is that a word? And so ignore the wolves and focus on where you're headed. And by doing that, the wolves become a non-issue. You know, it's like, I heard this saying a while back about, if you stop to throw rocks at every dog that barks at you, you're never going to get where you're going. Stop focusing on the wolves. Stop focusing on those who are trying to hold you back. You don't owe anyone an explanation. You don't have to justify or prove yourself to anyone. If you have a desire, you have that strong desire to be somebody, to do something, whatever it is, that desire in itself is proof that the fulfillment of that desire exists. You couldn't have that desire without there being something to fulfill that. So if you have a desire to be something, to do something, then that is a compass. That is your compass point from the universe saying, this is where you need to go. And by focusing on that destination, rather than everything, all the reasons, excuses for stopping and having to justify yourself, explain yourself to everyone else, you're never going to get there. Focus on where you're going and let everyone else fall by the wayside. Again, it's like, take everyone else out of the equation. Your heart is your authority. And it's so funny because I can pretty much say that for every single animal, but your heart is your authority. And when your heart desires a specific destination, a specific intention, that's a gift from the universe telling you which way to go. You wouldn't be told to go that direction unless there was something there for you. Unless that was already a part of who you were. Because you can't feel the lack of something. You can't miss something that doesn't exist. You can't miss something that's not already a part of you. You wouldn't know. You'd have no point of reference, right? So having that desire, our passions, is proof that that is what we're supposed to do. You know, everyone's asking for purpose. What's my purpose? Your purpose is to follow your heart and to fulfill your heart. The world needs more passionate people, not more people trying to figure out what their, holy sacred mission is from on high and, sacrifice their well-being and their life in order to fill some mission. That's not what the universe wants. That's not what Creator wants. Creator wants us to be fulfilled. And by us, each of us becoming fulfilled, everyone becomes fulfilled and the world is a better place. You can only help from a place of power. So focus on where you're going and don't worry about the naysayers. I think that one's a little bit for me, actually. Actually, all of these are. Maybe I'll go into that at the end. So, number 2. If 2 was your number, you got Owl. Owl. I love how the cards play together. I love how they interact. I love the stories that come up in the way that the different cards relate to each other. But Owl is I started out by saying that Owl's eyesight is as good as Eagle's eyesight. You know, we all talk about the eagle eye and how good the keen sight of Eagle. Owl can see just as well as Eagle can, only Owl sees at night in the dark. So Owl can see what's at the heart of the matter. Owl can see through the darkness, see through the fog to the mouse that it needs to eat. And so Owl is about that, seeing to the heart of the matter. And because of that, the Greek goddess Athena, she's the goddess of war, yes, but she's also the goddess of justice. She is the one who is credited with creating democracy, the justice system, the republic. And so part of her strength in doing that is because Owl is her totem animal. She always had an owl on her shoulder. And when she needed to, she could look through Owl's eyes, through whatever fog, through whatever subterfuge, whatever darkness and shadow people were trying to throw up in between her and the truth, and she could see to the heart of what was just. So if this is your card, trust your heart. Your heart knows what is true and what is not. If your heart tells you one thing and everyone else is telling you something else, always take the voice of your heart. That is your authority, right? So listen to your heart, follow your heart, see through the eyes of your heart. Because when you do so, you cannot be deceived. Just like Athena, looking with the eyes of Owl, could not be deceived. She could always see what was the truth of the matter, what was at the heart, what was just. And so, and on the other end of that, on the flip side of that, not only are you unable to be deceived, but you also, similar to what I was saying with Elk, with not having to justify yourself, not having to prove yourself, Owl is, how do I put it? Owl is the only bird who is silent in her flight. She can fly without making any sound because her feathers are softer around the edges, where most feathers, you know, you can hear that whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Owls don't have that, the harder edges around the feather, and so the air just, you can't hear them coming. They're totally silent. What that means is that you can see what is the right action. You can see what is needed, and you can swoop in, take care of it, and swoop out before anyone knows you're there. You don't have to broadcast to the universe what you're doing. You don't have to explain or ask permission. Your heart is your authority. You see what needs to be done. Swoop, you swoop in, and you are gone. The other thing about Owl is that when she swoops in and grabs a mouse or whatever, she swallows it whole. She swallows the entire animal whole, because she's got a special digestive system that can separate what's nutritious for her and what's not. And then she digests what's good for her, and whatever is not, she spits out. That you can actually get owl pellets on like eBay and such. They spit out what they call owl pellets. It's kind of like a hairball. It's like all the hair and like the skeleton and stuff, and so you can actually, it's kind of like a treasure hunt. There's places on eBay where you can buy owl pellets, because you never know what's going to be inside of them, and so you can get some owl pellets, and then you get to pull them apart and see there might be skulls or bones or different things inside of them. But again, being able to discern, being able to separate truth from fallacy, being able to discern what is good for you and what is not. And so owl is the eyes of truth, really. And when you look with the eyes of your heart, you can never be deceived. It's kind of along the lines of like a lie detector. You know, like a lie detector is based on the fact that humans, this might be kind of this might go off in some tangent, but humans are hardwired for good, for community, for helping. And so when we lie, when we're dishonest, when we're trying to hide something, our physical bodies react in ways of like blood pressure, sweat, whatever. And that's what the lie detector is based on. It's based on the fact that humans don't naturally lie, that truth is the norm. Truth is kind of the overriding default setting. And so if someone is lying or not being truthful, they're trying to dissuade someone or whatever, the lie detector can pick up those subtle changes in the physical body. And it's kind of like, and that's the basis of kinesiology. Like when they, like the muscle testing, like there's different things you might have had someone, like I know some naturopaths who do, where they have you hold vitamins in your hand, either out at your side, and then they'll try to push down on your arm. And if your arm is if your arm is unable to be pushed down, that means whatever that vitamin is stronger is good for you. If your arm is weaker and there's no resistance, then they know that that's not good. And you can do the same thing in the grocery store. If a food, or if you're trying to find vitamins or whatever, and you hold them and you close your eyes, and you see if either you start to tip forward or you start to tip backward. If you're tipping forward, that means that is good for you. The energy of that vitamin or the energy of that food is something that your body needs. If you're tipping backwards, it's out of balance with you. You're falling out of balance. And you can do it kind of like a little lie detector test. If you take your fingers, this is way off tangent. If you do your fingers like this, and then do the same thing with these fingers, but interlocked, and then you ask yourself, if you say a truth, my name is Patrick, you won't be able to pull them apart. Of course, your name isn't Patrick, so say your own name, but then say something that's a blatant lie, like, my name is Kathy. And it's not just that, okay, I got to tighten up because it's the truth, and I got to loosen up because it's not true. Your body knows when you're speaking truth, when you're coming from a place of love, your body is physically stronger. There's this exercise I like to do in my classes when there's no COVID and people don't have to worry about touching and holding hands and such. But if you have someone, you can try this. You have one person hold their hands about this far apart, and then you have the other person facing them and have their hands just on the outside of the first person's hands. And you count to 3, and then you have the outside person trying to push in and the inside person trying to push out, just to kind of get the baseline of the resistance and how, and it tends to be a struggle because it's like, then you have the person with their hands on the outside. Think of something that they love. Think of something that fulfills them, like thinking about a beloved pet or their love, their partner, something they love to do. Imagine them doing something they love to do. And then you count to 3 again. And again, the inside person tries to push out and the outside person tries to push in. And it's amazing because every time we do this, all of a sudden you hear this all around the room as the people with their hands on the outside who are connected, aligning with love, have no trouble pushing in. It's amazing, and it's such a great experiential proof of how strong you are, how much stronger you are when you focus on love, when you focus on truth, when you're connected with your heart rather than your head. So try that. I love that experience. I love that, doing that with people, because it's like people's eyes just get huge. And then you switch around and try it the other way around, so just so everyone can have that experience. I learned that from Martha Beck. I got to see Martha Beck one time at a book signing. She's the one who wrote Finding Your Own North Star. And it was such an eye-opening experience for me. I still love to share that. So it's like proof how strong you are when you come from love, when you come from your heart. So anyway, number 3. Woofda. Wild boar. Boar is anything but boring. Boar, in the book that comes with the medicine cards, the word that comes with boar is conflict, but it's not. Boar is probably the fiercest animal on the planet. When they are threatened, they start spinning in circles, like kind of like the Tasmanian devil. They start spinning and slashing with their tusks, and their tusks can be huge and sharp, and they've also got their hooves that are sharp, and they go into this battle lust. They go into this kind of insanity where they just start slashing and spinning. And so even a tiger will see a wild boar coming down the jungle path, and he will turn tail and run the other way because they don't want to deal with the boar. Because of that, around the world, in so many indigenous cultures, killing a wild boar is the rite of passage into adulthood. It's the initiation. It's leveling up. It's a rite of passage because you're not guaranteed to survive. In fact, one time, Sandra Ingerman has been my main teacher for many, many years. And in one of the workshops with her, she mentioned how she was going through an initiation. And she was talking to her spirit guides, like, am I going to get through this? Am I going to get through this? And her guide said, if you knew you were going to survive, it wouldn't be an initiation. So if this is your card, most likely you are going through an initiation right now. You are going through a rite of passage. You're in the process of leveling up. And it's not that you're necessarily in danger of dying or being taken out by of the picture, but Boar is, in the way I see Boar is kind of an embodiment of our inner demons. Boar is kind of an embodiment of our fears. And so, like in the way that when you're growing up and you're told as a child, never cross the street without holding the hand of an adult. That's to protect you. There's a fear there around the edges, like, oh my God, I better not cross the street because I don't have an adult to hold my hand. So that fear it's holding space for you. It's creating a container within which you can grow, like the seed casing of a seed that protects anything from getting in and allows the soft inner part of the seed to grow and germinate, right? But if you grow and you never burst out of the seed casing, you're going to be stunted, you're going to die. And so if you're like, 20, 30, 40 years old and you're still looking for someone to hold your hand when you cross the street, you haven't progressed. Boar is kind of, in my mind, the one who holds that space. Like, he's like the shadow on the edge of our comfort zone, saying, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to come this way? And so it keeps us in a place where we're safe. And that way, that fear serves a purpose. And at some point, just like with the example I used, you come to a point where you can no longer live within those parameters, right? Like they say, at some point, the pressure of staying inside the seed case is worse, or how does it go? The fear of staying inside the seed case. Now I have to remember that. I'm really bad at quote. I remember the gist of the quotes and the what they mean, but it's like, at some point, the discomfort of bursting free of the seed casing overpowers the discomfort of staying within it. It's the life cycle to burst out and to continue to outgrow old limitations, outgrow old parameters. And so, if this is coming up, you're brushing against the edge of your old fears. You're brushing against the edge of your old reality. And so, Boar's role shifts now, and rather than being kind of the guardian spirit that keeps you safe, he becomes the gatekeeper. But he doesn't just open the gate and, oh, yay, go for it, right? He's there, just like when you're playing a video game and you have to conquer the boss. Boar is there to make sure that you are ready to burst out of that seed casing, to make sure you have all the experiences and the skills and the wisdom to survive on the other side of that. And so he's there to challenge you. It's a rite of passage. The old you is dying and the new you is being born. And so his job is to make sure you're ready to be born on the other side of that barrier. So he's going to challenge you. And all you need to do, and I'm like, all you need to do, it sounds so easy. But believe me, I know how difficult it is. I'm going through this right now myself. In fact, I've spent most of the day close to tears and shaky and uncertain. And it's like realizing that I'm coming face to face with Boar. I'm coming further than I've ever been before. And what I have to do is to stand in that discomfort, look Boar in the eyes, and collect my own power. It's not about fighting him. It's not about challenging him. It's about standing in your power. And as you stand in your power and face your fears, anything you can face, you can overcome. And as you look him in the eye, as you look at Boar, you might still be shaking in your boots. You might feel like you're going to die. But if you can stand your ground and look at Boar in the eye, you are calling your power back, because the only power he has is the power you give him. Your fears are only as strong as what you give them. And so anything you can face, if you run away, those fears become stronger. They become more solid. But if you can face them, then they'll disperse just like the mists of the morning, and you will walk through into a new land of opportunity, a new world. You will be a new person, literally. That's what rite of passages are about. So if that is your card, know that you are stronger than you think you are. You may feel like you are falling apart right now, but it's the opposite that is true. All of those old issues of fear have to come to the surface because they can't exist outside of that parameter. Your old issues can only exist in the old world. And so part of this is to shed those old energies, those old issues, those old fears, because they can't exist on the other side. And when we identify with those fears, when we think that's who we are, then we can't get past Boar, because we believe that we're these fears and we're going to die if we go on the other side. So it's a step, it's that leap of faith, knowing that you are more than your fears. One of my mantras when I'm in such places is, I am not my emotions, I have emotions. I am not my thoughts, I have thoughts. I am not my body, I have a body. You are beyond the body, you are beyond the fears, you are beyond the emotions. You are the creator of your life. You are one with Creator, with the creative source that created the universe. How much more powerful can you be? And when you remember that, even shaking, nothing can stand up to you. Nothing can stand in your way from your destiny, from the inevitability of becoming even greater than you thought you were. Okay? So those are the 3 cards. Number 1 again was elk. Number 2 was owl. And number 3 was boar. All 3 of them kind of sang to me. And I was thinking, like I said, I've been having kind of a rough day myself, facing the boar, and tears and anxiety and different things coming up. And so I was thinking about calling it early tonight and not doing our normal. I like to do the guided meditation at the end. But I think because boar came up, especially because boar came up, if boar is your card especially, I think it would be good to do our guided journey so that you can get the message. What do you need to know to stand your ground? Maybe get a glimpse of what your future self is. Get a glimpse, get a feeling for what life is like on the other side of boar, to kind of help shore up your confidence, shore up that courage, and walk through. Okay? So we are going to do a little guided shamanic journey. And part of this is because I feel like my job as a shaman is to empower others, to help others experience things, to experience, not just to tell them, it's not just for information, for knowledge, it's for wisdom, it's for the experience. And once you have an experience, no one can take that from you. So I like to help others get the messages for themselves. No matter what I said, if it doesn't resonate, take it with a grain of salt. And I'm going to take you on a journey to meet whichever animal came up for you this week, or any other animal that volunteers. I've had other people do this who had a whole different animal show up and have a message for them. But it's so much like I was saying about owl. Listen with your heart, see with your heart. Whatever your heart tells you, whatever the message is directly from the spirit animal to you, holds so much more weight than anything I've said, okay? I want to teach people to get used to listening to their own voice, to their own guidance, right? So, I got my drum here, got the big guns. This is my big old horse drum. I'm going to beat my drum softly in the background as we go to kind of hold the space, to hold the vibration. So when you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes. Relax into the chair, the ground, whatever you're sitting on or lying on. Feel it carrying your weight. You're safe to totally let go and relax. And take a deep breath in and hold it for a moment. And let it go. Blowing out all the tensions, all the gobbledygook from today. Take another deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. And let it go. Feel yourself held. Feel yourself carried. You are safe. Then bring your awareness up to your third eye in the middle of your forehead. And just as if it were one of your other eyes, open it up and look out into your imagination. And see before you this beautiful wide meadow in the middle of this tree line. You're standing with the trees to your back. You can feel the coolness of the shade behind you, the bird song coming from the treetops. And in front of you, you feel the warmth of the meadow, the sun beckoning you forward. In the middle of this meadow, you see a great big rock, flat, just begging to be sat upon. So make your way toward that rock. Feel the grasses brushing against your legs, against your fingertips. Watch the multicolored butterflies, dragonflies zipping and buzzing and flying all around you. Feel the sun on your head, the coolness of a breeze on your cheek as you make your way to this great flat rock. And when you get there, go ahead and crawl up and sit comfortably on this rock. It's like it was custom made for you. It fits your form perfectly. And you feel the sun-warmed stone beneath you, the warmth of the sun on your head, the coolness of the breeze on your cheek, keeping you at the most comfortable temperature possible. And as you sit here, we invite in whatever animal is the appropriate one to bring you a message at this time. Whether it's one of the three in the card pull tonight, or a whole different animal that wants to speak to you. We open our hearts with an invitation for them to come. They might come from the sky, they might come out of the grasses, they might come from the tree line, but come they will. And when they show up, greet them, thank them for coming, look them in the eye, smile, feel the love from that animal just sinking into your very bones, your very cells. And feel free to reach out, pat them on the head, scratch them behind the ears, whatever seems appropriate. Just feel the love radiating from this animal who has come to aid you at this time. And now I'm going to be quiet for a moment or two and allow you to ask this animal, what is your message for me? What have you come to help me with in this week? How may I work with you in harmony and be open to whatever answer comes? So it comes time to bid them farewell for now, knowing that they aren't truly leaving you, they are still with you, even when they leave in this form. So bid them farewell, thank them again for coming. Scratch them lovingly, give them a hug, whatever you feel appropriate. And then bid them farewell. And if for some reason nobody showed up, know that there is no getting this wrong. Know that this was just not the appropriate time or form for them to show up. And just pay attention to your dreams, to the images and the information you hear in conversations, online, whatever source, they will make themselves known. And so it comes time to return to your three-dimensional physical form. So become aware again of the chair or the floor or the couch, whatever surface you are sitting or lying upon. Start to feel the temperature around you in the room or outside, wherever you might be. Become aware of your physical form. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. You can tap on your legs, tap on your shoulders. Bring yourself fully back into your physical, three-dimensional form. And when you are ready, slowly at your own pace, feel free to open your eyes. coming back to full awareness in this three-dimensional reality. Oh. How was that? I always ask, but I've said this before, like, I kind of go crazy. My instant gratification wants to know how people did and who showed up and what the stories were, what the messages were. So if you had something amazing happen, please feel free to write it in the comments, even after I post this video. Or you can message me on Facebook, or you can email me through my website, whatever. I love to hear people's stories, or if you had a challenge or you have questions. You know, a lot of people do this and they're afraid they're going to get something wrong, or they're afraid they heard something wrong. Know that there is no getting this wrong, and know that the spirits are going to use your own personal mythology, your own personal symbolic language. I did this with a group one time, and a woman came up afterwards, really shyly, like asking me, she was like, do spirit guides sing Disney songs? And I just started laughing. I was like, absolutely. And apparently the animal that came to her was a fish. And the fish started singing that song from Finding Nemo, that Dory song about swimming, swimming, keep on swimming. So yes, my spirit guides, my power animals do the goofiest things. They will sing Walt Disney songs. They will do whatever they need to do to get the point across, whatever is your personal language. So again, it's like being open to whatever comes in whatever form. Expectant curiosity. You have an expectancy that something's going to happen, but your curiosity is about not knowing what it is. It's that sense of adventure, curiosity, the exploration to discover what's there. And again, I am here to help. If you have questions, if you want to just report what you saw, I love hearing what people experience. So anyway, so that is our readings for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, please share this video far and wide. Invite your friends. Tag your friends in the comments if you think it might help someone. I'm going to share this to my Facebook page. And also I'm going to upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel. So please like my Facebook page, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like things and all of that. I guess that helps get my stuff seen by more people, the algorithms and all that, which I don't totally understand. But like me, please like me. Just kidding. Not really, but kind of, yeah. What else? So, and visit my website, perchingwolfstudios.net. And, you know, if this was helpful for you, come and see me for a whole reading for yourself. Totally focused on you, not the generalized kind of New York Times horoscope kind of reading like we do this every week, but like something totally focused on you with 5 or more cards. I love my job so much. I love doing this. So I am here to support you, the community that supports me. So let me know how I can help. And when you visit my website, check out all the different shamanic services I offer, healings, soul retrievals, fairy doctoring, different things. And because this is my full-time job, I'm having to get used to receiving. And so I gratefully receive anything you might want to donate to me. I have my PayPal link in the description under this video. And if you feel moved to do so, I gladly accept whatever you would like to send me. So, and thank you so much. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Like I've said, this is one of the highlights of my week, and I always look forward to this. Even when I'm having a bad day like I did today, where it was kind of iffy and whatever, this always reinstates for me better who I am again, and reminds me why I do this. So thank you so much. Am I forgetting anything? I think that's it. So I hope you'll come back and see me next week. Invite your friends, share the videos, and until I see you again, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. I love you. We'll see you again. Go shining. All right. Bye, everybody.